How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to ReWrite, where things got really weird last week. We got that horrible, weird pollution-like stuff that they found in the middle of the woods in a blocked-off section that the city doesn't want people to go into. That heralds and implies lots of stuff. I mean, obviously it's dangerous, but like, if it's that dangerous and people don't know about it, then it seems like it's being kept a secret, which is terrifying. And it kind of woke Kotarou up. So when he went back, he was like, I want to do something about this. Like, this kind of stuff shouldn't be happening. Like, why are we allowing this to happen? And he wrote out a very basic, like, pollution is bad post. And, like, Akane kind of pointed out, like, that's not like you're really groundbreaking anything here. And he's like, yeah, I know, but kind of wanted to feel better. And then she kind of points out, she's like, well, look, like, you're just kind of lying to yourself if you think that somehow makes a difference. Like, we need to do a lot more than this to make any kind of difference at all. He's like, that's a good point. And then she makes this weird illusion. I thought I was joking. Like, I was like, there's no way she's actually implying this. But then it turned out she absolutely was implying that the real root of the problem was humanity, and thus all humanity needs to be eliminated to fix it. So I talked about that for a bit, but at the same time, like, that's the problem with Akane. Is like, part of me thinks she's just joking. I really think she must be. Because, like, she's always, like, taken things to very logical extremes. Like, she likes playing devil's advocate. And so, like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But she said it so seriously. And when he didn't really respond, she kind of went back to her usual self. But there she seemed to be a bit more, like, grounded. And those are the times when she's been more real. And so it's a little confusing and jarring. But, here we are. But she did talk about the point of no return. And, like, you gotta wonder... I think we've already crossed the threshold, personally, of point of no return. We can't get back to what it was 100 years ago. Like, we just can't. We can stop it from getting worse, but we're already crossing that threshold. So, it's interesting how true this is. And, like, someone pointed out in the comments that this came out in, like, 2010. So, like, God, 12 years ago now? That's crazy. And at that time, it was a very prevalent conversation topic, which is very true. I think it needs to be. Still needs to be. And I think it's a lot more realized, especially with younger generations, when we realize, we look around, we're like, you know what? The world's kind of... data's showing it's not looking great. It's getting worse. Why does nobody else seem to care? Not really. Like, they'll talk platitudes, but, like, even looking into, like, government stuff, like not government stuff, but, like green movement in the corporate world. You can do a lot of research and studies, and like you can easily prove that like the only initiatives that these companies make are cost-effective ones that save them money, get them kickbacks from the government, and make their bottom line better. But that's as far as they'll take it. They won't actually make like real managerial changes. They'll just go far enough to make it look like they care, and to be able to get that, like, cred. And that kind of reminds me of what a lot of these, like it's like a lot of entertainment industry tends to get caught up in this. Like, people call it wokeness. I don't think it's wokeness. I think there is a large measure of, like, good desire to kind of make the playing field balanced and to make things more fair and make it more, like, realistic and to not be, stereotypical or select or like profiling or whitewashing, like that kind of stuff's wrong. But like, I feel like companies are starting to take it so far to get the cred, like the street cred and the information, but they don't take it in the direction that makes sense. They just kind of check boxes, and that kind of defeats the whole point. Like, it's all about making a systemic, true cultural change, and that means changing your attitudes, not appearing to have changed your attitudes. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk more about that as we go on, so let's just jump into the story and see what we're going to do. So Kotarou's probably going to have a little bit of a reflective moment, then I'm sure we'll jump right into the shenanigans as usual, because that's how this game usually goes. Dips into serious, followed by hilarity, and a little bit of serious, followed to hilarity. So let's jump in. The point of no return. The point where everything becomes too late. The line that must not be crossed. And it's not like everything will end overnight if we happen to cross it. We'll have to spend our final days fighting each other for resources, bitterly aware the end is inevitable. Lurk in the shadows. Kill the weak. Live your entire life obsessed with running out of resources. Calculating how many years you still have left. A future like that sounds like hell itself. Ugh, terrifying. Japan imports most of its food. We have farms outside of Kazamatsuri, but most of our land is taken over by giant cities. It's just like Akane said. None of us expects the kind of hell to suddenly befall us. It sounds too unreal for someone raised in greenhouse conditions. I turned my thoughts to myself. I picked up a pebble off the ground. It's a big one, almost as big as a child's fist. That's more of a rock then. It's dangerous if a car ran over it and popped a tire. I focused my strength into my fingers. The pebble crunched into dust. It was pretty hard rock too. Regardless, my hand is unscathed. The point of no return, a line after which you can no longer turn back. Perhaps I already crossed it long ago. Crap, might have let it go to my head. Yeah, so he's talking about his point of no return where he's got that power, but he's like terrified because what's the cost? What happens? And how he when he pushes his body, he can't ever get back to his original state. A phone call wakes me up. Hello?
Inoue だけど。
Oh, hi. Mr. Inoue. Yeah, I remember you. It's been a long time. It's a miss, by the way.
女だっての。ついこないだ話したばっかじゃない。
Sorry, I remember you now. It's Miss Inoue.
忘れたならそう言ってよ。今、平然とごまかそうとしてたでしょ。
Sorry, you woke me up, so my head's still.
もう10時だよ。それより、ちょっと聞きたいんだけど、オカケンって昨日森に調査に行ったでしょ。
Ah, interesting. You didn't bug any of my belongings, did you? Anyway, you are right.
そんな盗聴器だなんて携帯に仕掛けたりしてないわよ。
If you're associated with Miss Akane at all, then I would say you absolutely could do that. My phone! I should probably check it later.
ねえ、それより調査ってさ、川の水質汚染の件なんじゃない？
She's some kind of magician or a mutant with superpowers. Let's just say you're right about everything and cut to the chase.
じゃあ一つ確認。川を最後まで調べてみた？
I don't even want to remember.
その口ぶりなら見たみたいね。私は虹沼って呼んでる。
Rainbow Swamp? That's quite apt.
オカケン結構頑張るな。ねえ、じゃあ汚染の原因までは分かってる？
No, do you?
教えられるわけないじゃない。君スカポンタンなの？
You brought it up yourself.
情報を吐き出させて自分は溜め込む。基本よ、基本。
I mean, she's got a point. You're one mean gal, you know that? Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not pursuing that lead any further.
中止するんだ。
It's too heavy for our blog.
考えてみればそうね。あれはうちの領分だわ。
Our boss suspects it was caused by domestic drainage of people's living upstream.
よし、勝ち！
Huh? Thought that wouldn't be enough to cause it.
もちろん。だって川の上流にある人里ってもうほとんど人数がいない乾村だったり農耕の時期にしか人が住まなかったりするんだもん。全部集めても100世帯もないんだよ。
I heard there was some big self-sustaining commune living there, though.
サンペース会ってエコ団体が山中で原始的な共同生活をしてる。けどあそこずっと前に大麻の違法栽培で警察の手入れを食らってるのね。
Sandpest Association, SA. Why is that ringing a bell? Have we seen like SA listed on something? I don't know why that's ringing a bell.
その後は組織も一新されたけど規模は何十分の1になってしまってとても川を汚染するほどの汚水は出てないはずよ。
I'm impressed you managed to find so much information. It's honestly pretty amazing. Do you know what might have caused it then?
うん。さっき有力情報を入手したの。最近市内が慌ただしくなっていろんな情報が手に入りやすくなってるんだ。
Interesting. There's good and bad times for information gathering?
そう。収穫祭の影響なのかな。まさに情報収穫期よ。
So what polluted the river that bad then?
殺虫剤。
Ah, thanks. I got her to spill it. Pesticides, I see, I see.
口が滑ってしまっ
Have any more details?
た。IT 泥棒。
I've never been called that before. I'm sorry, but it's your own fault for falling for it. It is her own tactic. You've already incriminated yourself, might as well spit it all out.
刑事か。もういいわ。
According to Inoue, there's something like this. Some time ago, a bunch of pesticide barrels were buried upstream of that river. Certain agricultural chemicals are outlawed once it's discovered that they're dangerous. After that, you can't use or sell them. Apparently, a lot of local farmers didn't know what to do with their remaining stock. Oh no. So the government allegedly ordered them to bury it underground. Why? That's the worst thing you can do with it. Ended up in the forest far away from an inhabited area. Huh, they definitely didn't think that through.
本当は掘り起こして処理しないといけないんだけど、免れてしまったのね。私は農薬成分が土中に漏出したんじゃないかってか。
That makes sense. Isn't that kind of messed up that the entire it ended up polluting a different place than where it was buried? That means it must have spread through the river, right?
そう、それ。町に汚水が流れてくる可能性だってあるよね。大スクープかも。埋めた場所は調べがついてんの。これから調べに行こうと思ってるんだ。
Ooh. Whoa, you're going all out.
この話、人には漏らさないでよ。
Who could I tell? No one in the ORS wants to hear anything to do with it anymore.
やめたら？うちで雇ってあげてもいいけど。
Interesting. Ask me again when you're running your own national newspaper.
そろそろ準備しなきゃ。プロの仕事見せてあげるわ。
Yeah, well, take care, I guess.
投げやり。
I'm serious. Don't skimp on the preparations if you're going into the forest.
あんがと。でも、私の危機意識は万全だから心配ご無用。じゃね。
I am now, for some reason, I wasn't worried until just now. Well, and now I'm really worried that we're never going to hear from her again. Excuse me. A girl I don't know approaches me during lunch break. That's weird.
天王寺くんって君だよね。
That I am.
新聞部のものなんだけど。
Oh, a friend of Inoue's, I presume? The girl's face grows pale.
井上、欠席してるの。
Absent. I recall she told me she was going to the forest a few days ago. I wonder how that ended up. Haven't heard from her since. Is that so? Did she catch a cold or something? I answer half-heartedly, wondering if she's gonna go out of her way to report that to me.
天王寺くん、井上と仲良かったんだよね。
Hold it.
え？
Friends? Where'd you hear that?
井上がそう言ってて、天王寺ってのに懐かれたって。
Sure.
顔は60点くらいの男子だけど、井上が将来発行する予定の真実を分配する誇り高きペーパーメディア、ディストリビューターの同志としてはまずまずだって。
On one hand, I feel like I should be insulted. On the other, I feel like I should feel honored. Like, sounds like she doesn't really pay much attention to most people. Yet she decided to elevate us some way. It's barely passing grade. Do I really have the average of a face? One day I'll exact my mental revenge for all of her transgressions against me. What's up with the journal anyway? I don't want anything to do with a weird paper like that. Anyway, I'd agree that she's an acquaintance of mine, but part about her being attached to her is probably some misunderstanding, okay? As such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't publish that information. Hate to disappoint my fans. The girl looks like she's about to cry. Whoa, I'm sorry. That was pretty cringy, wasn't it? I agree, that was terrible, but you should know that I was expecting you to make a feisty comeback for a combo joke, if you know what I mean. The girl ignores my words.
帰ってきてないんだって。
Huh?
日曜日に出かけていって、戻ってきてないんだって。
Tears well up in her eyes as her voice grows raspy. The other students walking the corridor turn to look at us. She hasn't come back, back home.
そう。家に戻ってない。それで、親御さんから連絡があって、学校にも連絡行ってて、今、新聞部のみんなでも探してて。
Crap, on a cracker. We might be the only person who actually has an idea where she is.
天王寺くん、知らない？
No, it wasn't like we were close enough to hang out or anything. Wait, did you say Sunday?
そう、日曜。
I talked with her over the phone. I showed her my call log. Have you tried calling her? The girl nods. I tried calling her just in case, but it goes straight to voicemail. Inoue is somewhere out of range of the signal.
どんな話した？何時くらい？
About 10 a.m. Inoue said she was going to the forest.
本当？
It looks like that's new information, judging from her surprise. I better give her all the details. I think she was going to investigate this area. Open the map on my phone.
送って！
I passed on via infrared connection. Wow, infrared connection. I haven't heard of that in a while. That was like pre-Bluetooth. It's essentially Bluetooth, but like if he's not using the term Bluetooth, which I think Bluetooth actually might be radio waves. I'm not sure. I don't think it's infrared. Because infrared easily gets disrupted. Like your hand can stop the signal of infrared. Bluetooth kind of goes through walls and stuff, which makes me think it's more radio waves, just like but probably a sub bandwidth, because Bluetooth also is very like short range. That might just be though because the transponder in the cell phone is not very strong by itself. But infrared connection, yeah. My experience with infrared connection was I got a Zune audio player way back in school, like in middle high school. It was like the Microsoft's answer to the iPod. And one of the features it toted was the infrared connection. You could use it like between Zune devices. In fact, you could actually grant, like if you owned a song, you could connect infrared with another Zune and say like, hey, I want to share the song with you. And you'd share it. They get a copy of the song, but the Zune locks it after 3 plays and then gives them an option to buy it. But that way they can listen to the whole song a total of 3 times and decide if they want to buy it. It was a really brilliant idea, I think. It's sad the Zune didn't do as well, just because I think they were really being very innovative and everything. It's just Apple was just a gargantuan, like, they'd already been so well established and their marketing was just so good. It makes sense that Microsoft couldn't stand up to it, but it really is too bad. The Zune was something special. All I know is it was supposed to be upstream area of this river. I don't know the exact spot. If our phone is out of battery, her provider can probably trace it, so I'll try contacting them too. Though I'm not sure if that's still an option, given how much time has passed. Okay. I end up having to repeat the same story to Inoue's parents, the school, and even the police. The evening by the time they released me. The police decided to form a search party to look for her. I hope they find her safe and sound. We've had our differences, but I'm genuinely starting to get a little bit worried. You're just starting to? This is all getting, like, the fact that her parents are panicking means that they expected her to be home probably that night. That means she's been gone 2 extra days, almost 48 hours longer than she should have been. There are like windows when people vanish, because people tend to vanish for future reasons. They get lost, they get injured, they get kidnapped. And in that order, time is of the essence. Getting lost, you just might be out there all alone, but like at least you're still probably mobile. You can respond. You can, like, if you hear people's voices, you can call out to them. You can still independently potentially find your way home. Injured. It can either impact your mobility, make it so you can't move no matter what, and thus you're stuck until somebody finds you, or you're like unconscious, and that's the worst case scenario because then you can't respond to anybody and you could just die right there. And then kidnapped is the worst one, because then you're being moved and purposely hidden. So unless they can find solid evidence of where you've gone, you might not be able to get found until it's too late. And the 48 hours, like if it is kidnapping, the first 48 hours are the most important, especially because it's really kind of creepy to say, but the truth is that if people are like kidnapping you, the first thing they're going to do is restrict your input of food and water because they want to weaken you. Mostly food. Like you'll probably get water occasionally, but they want to make it so that like the longer you're in their care, the harder it will be for you to actually try and get out yourself. And so like after a couple days of no food, like sure you're functional and awake, but you're going to be getting weak. You're going to be getting lethargic. And that's not good. Just a little. That was more than a little, man. We should go look for her. Oh, it's been 2 days. Oh no, this is 4 days. This is 5. This is like full 5, maybe 6 days later. Akane's ordered us to assemble in the club room on our own lunch break. I request to immediately stop all activities. Kotarou and I exchange glances. Huh? I thought you had absolute authority as far as these things were concerned, Prez. Dang.
だからって。
今回のトラブルはとてもシリアスだわ。下手に抗わない方が利口ね。
Could it be related to Inoue's going missing?
もしかしなくてもそうだわ。
井上さんって小太郎くんの友達の？
Yeah. The search for Inoue is still going on. I heard they're looking all over the mountains for her. Her family refuses to give the media permission to report it, but it hasn't stopped the rumors from spreading around the school. If I had to guess, they said it'd be heartless to keep the club going or whatever.
そういう意味もあるわね。
Now, are they associating her going missing with us? Because she was going to do that independent.
ずれてる。そういう問題じゃないと思う。
大人の世界では軸がぶれていても理屈は通るものよ。
Oh, Fetch! Why is that so true? In the world of adults, it's more important to show you're dealing with a problem than actually solving it. It's like what I said at the beginning with the recycling stuff. Like, if they can print recycled, made of partially recyclable material on their bottles, it doesn't matter if they're still poisoning all the rivers that they like form their plastic at. As long as they're recycling a little bit and it makes it look like they care, that's all that really matters, right? I don't care about the adults. But Inoue is someone I know. I don't feel like playing around either. I didn't even realize it's Friday already. It's been 5 days since Inoue's disappearance. Could a lone girl survive 5 days in that forest? I mean, yeah, but every hour decreases the chance of her being found okay, and creeps closer to the switch where it stops being a search for a girl and starts being a search for a corpse. Like, there's a line there. No one ever wants to talk about it, but the line is there. And that's when they switch from search and find dogs to corpse dogs, because they train them differently. I can't help but glancing at Inoue's number on my phone contact list. My heart slowly turns blue, the color of melancholy.
こうして部室で集まることもやめてほしいそうよ。
Huh? I mean, are they suspending all club activities in the school or something?
いいえ、うちだけだわ。
Why? The school probably figured this was a good opportunity to get rid of us.
そんなのなんか私たちが悪いみたいに。
I guess I was the one who supplied the police with the information.
井上という女性とお前への対抗意識を周囲に広く伝えていたみたいね。
Oh, okay. You're saying it was all my fault?
そうではないけれど、見せしめとして咎められた。
You've gotta be kidding me. Who's the one being heartless here? I did talk with Inoue on the phone before her disappearance, but how does that... Was I supposed to stop her or something? Is it my responsibility because I didn't stop her?
新聞部では実際にそういう声が上がっているみたいね。
A, like we could have, and B, why is that my responsibility? We just talked. Are you serious?
止められたの？
No, that never would have worked. She's not the kind of person. I mean, she's the one. She was one more experienced with all this investigating stuff. How's a newbie supposed to stop someone who knows what they're doing? The idea is ridiculous. If they've got a problem with us, and maybe then maybe the bigger problem is the existence of an actual newspaper club.
問いただすまでもなく、この出来事は本人の過ちだわ。けれど責任問題とは、その時その場に居合わせた時点でもう降りかかってくるものよ。
So it's a crime by association. I get that, but I can understand that. But I can't play this down like a joke like I do for most things. What pisses me off the most is that instead of focusing on the full attention on searching for her, these idiots are looking for scapegoats to force the blame on instead.
来た子。
連れてこられた子。
Well, thanks for being honest, you two.
今日も頑張りましょう。
どうした？揃って陰気な子。
We've got some big problems here.
井上さんの件、かなり噂になってますもんね。
無理もない。委員会でも議題になっていたくらいだからな。
やっぱりみんな聞いてたんだね。クラスもその話で持ちきりだ。
うちの学校としてはとても大きな事件だからよ。中途半端に隠すより学校側から正式に発表してもらった方がみんなの気分も落ち着くという意見も多い。
I mean, that's fair. Like, if it weren't her parents saying, like, don't talk about this yet, then I would be, like, mad that they're not disclosing it. But technically, her parents have the right. And if that right's being respected, that's probably better. Though I don't agree with it. Like, what I usually would expect is that they would request it to be hushed. A snoopy newspaper person would catch wind of it and publish something anyway.
とはいえ、そうそう大人に英断は求められないな。
井上さん、いいやつだった。
Don't say was.
心配でならない。
You knew her? Of course I did. Suzuto gives me a baffled look. I sure didn't expect that.
なんか、話しかけてきた。
Ah, right, okay.
お菓子をくれた。
Aw. And then you told her all your secrets, huh? Is that so, Miss Suzuto?
ペラペラ話した。
I'm sure she is.
小太郎のこと、いっぱい話した。そんな井上さんが。
I found the source of the information leak. Are you the one who placed this little mechanism in my phone? I probably found it after the last phone call.
テレアだからこっそりつけてやれと言われた。
Dang, that's impressive. I heated it up in the microwave as soon as I found it.
レンジ
It's the trendiest approach to dealing with things like that these days.
ナウなヤングにバカウケ
Unfortunately, not even Suzuto is able to liven up the dark atmosphere hanging over our club room. I want to know how the search is going.
芳しくないわ。
Apparently, they've yet to even find the route Inoue took. I told them she was looking for a buried pesticide. Not even the city seems to process intel on its exact location anymore. Everyone involved is already dead, and the records have been lost. The real world is sloppier than you'd expect. Amen to that. If there's one thing I've learned from having friends and family involved in things like pharmaceutical companies, nuclear facilities, or even just grocery stores, is that it is crazy how unorganized some of that is, especially considering how impactful it can be. It's pretty amazing. I'm surprised our world functions sometimes, honestly. But then where did Inoue learn about it? Her ability to gather information ended up backfiring on her in this case. And also keeping her sources close to her chest, because now nobody knows where to look for it.
捜索隊の方も行き詰まっていて、ご両親との話し合いの結果、
Holy
明
crap!
日の夕方で捜索を一度中断するそうよ。
No, why would you stop? At the very least, you start searching for a body. You need to find an answer.
こんなに早く
金銭の問題が出たそうよ。
金銭
警察と消防、民間の有志とが共同で捜索に当たっていて、これ自体に請求は発生しないのだけれど。
どうして
血税。
なのにお金の問題が
大勢の人間が家族のために行動してくれて。
そうですね。
燃料代と炊き出し代だけでもバカにならないはずよ。
I mean, that's true.
数十人分。それが5日。
Inoue's parents are running out of money. Their daughter has disappeared. They have to worry about the financial troubles on top of that. I wouldn't want to be in their place right now.
でもそれじゃ、井上さんは
事実上の死亡認定ということかな。
Inoue is among the rudest people I know. She made me into a publicly known rival of hers without even telling me. But she definitely doesn't deserve to get lost and die in the forest.
それで会長さん、今後どうするんですか？
要請に従うつもりよ。
I mean, it makes sense. I think, at least in appearances, we have to do this.
オカルト研究会は解散ということになるわね。
You seriously letting them do that to us?
理由はすでに話した通りよ。
She's right.
妥当な判断だと思うけれど。
But that's... I don't want to be partying like an idiot at a time like this either, but can't stand the whole blame-shifting nonsense. Who'd be satisfied with that kind of decision? There's no way any of the ORS members would agree with it. Or so I thought.
仕方ないんでしょうか。
気にする必要はないと思うが、まあトップの判断には従おう。
No one.
ちょっと残念だ。町の緑化運動も自粛なのかな。
No one's even trying to fight it.
お祭り騒ぎもおしまいのようね。
Not even a single voice.
物質使えないなら私物持ち帰らないと。そうですね。量が少し多いですけど。
散々引っ張り回されたが、ようやく慌ただしい日々も終わりか。
Like Lucia's just like, finally! It's an odd sensation. Everything we've built together is crumbling before our eyes. But nobody's trying to resist. They've just accepted it without a second thought. I can't comprehend it. Thought everyone treasured this place we'd created. Everyone? But maybe I'm the only one who thinks that. It sure didn't take long for all of you to accept that.
どうしようもないことだからな。
Lucia shrugs.
あかねさんの命令ですからね。
They're all acting like usual. That's true, but...
自粛ムードだもんね。
Kotori sighs. Just like usual. Okay, I understand about us having to cease activities and all, but to me, it looks like we've been chosen as a convenient sacrifice here. Don't you feel that way?
ストレーシープ。
Scapegoat, but close enough.
スケープゴートだな。おかけんを生贄にして、学校側としては本件に関する適切な処分を下した。
That's bullcrap.
学校側の意志は固いわよ。
But this is more important.
大事な？
We made a place here for ourselves, didn't we? It's still a bit scattered, but things are starting to come together, no? We're going to lose it all, back to zero.
おかけんは途中で一度解散しているのよ。守るべき伝統や伝えるべき精神もないから。
I'm not talking about the RS as an organization in general. What I mean is that I can't find the right words to express myself. I don't have the talent for it. All the words that come to mind are too embarrassing to say out loud. Why'd you just say them? But it seems like I have no other choice at this point. We're comrades. Amigos, bonds, friendship. I start listing all the embarrassing words that come to mind. No one laughs at me, but everyone makes troubled faces. I'm shocked. It's like I'm a spoiled child throwing a tantrum over something unrealistic.
つまり、天王寺小太郎はこう言いたい。おかけんというのは単なる B 級サークルなどではない。ひとときを共にする若者らの特権的な空間であり、堅守せねばならぬ場所であり、集うメンバーたちの尊い絆そのものであると。
Oddly, yes. Maybe formal, but yes. You're making it sound cheesy on purpose, aren't you? But yes, that's the gist of it. You're agreeing with me, don't you?
もちろんそうだと思うよ。そうですね。私たち友達だと思いますけど。
Oh, that's actually really cute. Suzuki nods too. But if we can't gather in a club room anymore, we'll all be separated again. We won't be able to party together or go on investigation. Well, hang on. Why can't you just call each other and like go hang out, go do karaoke and stuff? Like just because you don't have this like excuse to get together doesn't mean that you can't make other excuses. Or maybe Kotarou just doesn't realize that because he's always struggled with friends, hasn't he? Like he talks about how like he's always felt like an outsider, and he also like I don't know if it was because of moving around or what. I can't remember. He did talk about it like way at the beginning, but like he might just be so unskilled at having friends that this is the closest he's come to, besides Yoshiro. And you can't really call that a friendship. It's like frenemies more. Yeah, maybe that's really what's going on here. It's like he feels like he finally has like friends and like a place to be. That he fit. A place where he was not only accepted, but like people were happy to have him around. And now, if he wants to hang out with them, it's going to be like an imposition. Like he's going to have to call them and organize it or something. And maybe that's what he's really like wrestling here. Is like he feels like he's losing his ability to have a connection with people he's grown to care about. So I want to be with him till the end, at least until we graduate high school. I don't care about scoops or leads. I wouldn't mind if it all ended as a complete dud either. All I want is make friends and have fun. Those are my honest feelings.
自由を勝ち取るために学校と闘争しようとでも
No way. All I want is a promise to bind us while we think of a good way to counteract this situation. Looks like we're all agreeing on a basic level at least. I'm worried about Inoue just like anyone else, and I don't mind suspending our activities, but I want that to be our decision. We're not accepting it to serve some political nonsense. If we disband now, it'll look like we're admitting guilt, and that frustrates me. I gauge their reactions. It seems like they're all hesitating. There's no unconditional approval here. Why? Is this something I said? Anxiety begins creeping through my veins. Oh, bro. I know exactly what that's like. You say something, and you don't get a positive response immediately. You immediately panic. You're like, oh gosh, what did I say? Did I say it wrong? Are they gonna hate me now? It feels like there's a gap between me and everyone else. Like there always feels like Gosh darn it. I wonder, when was it that our perception of this club split apart? The difference in awareness at the deepest level, these ill-matched cogs? I thought we were all on the same page yesterday. I thought I managed to create a good club. Isn't that why everyone gathered here? We've definitely been functioning as one system. I ended up throwing all those thoughts at them without choosing my words like a raving madman.
落ち着きなさい、天王寺。
I'm sorry.
また熱く語ったものだな。
結構ホットだ。
I'm embarrassed.
ですね。もちろん、みんなの気持ちは一緒だと思うんです。
Are you sure? Because I feel like you're not.
でもさ、睨まれちゃったわけだし。
私の力でも、どうにもならない状況になりつつあるのも事実ね。
That's the real kicker. No way. I bang my fist against my head, as though trying to beat a good idea out of it. We can still meet at school whether we disband or not, that's definitely true. And it shouldn't be impossible to hang out together either. But the bond between people tends to entangle if you don't have a shared space. Everyone has their own lives. Everyone has to walk their own paths. It's impossible for everyone to remain together. I'm being a child. I know that, but just for a few years? Can't I be allowed this one thing for a few short years until I graduate? Let's go look for her. Inoue, we can search for her.
捜索隊はまだ活動しているから、見つかったら問題の重ねがけになってしまうわよ。
But they'll disband tomorrow. But just until tomorrow, right? Besides, given the size of the forest, we'd probably only run into them when they're heading back, so it'd be nothing to worry about if we went deeper.
理屈では可能だろうが。
大人たちが見つけられなかったものを、私たちが見つけられる？
I guess maybe the point of it is that we're trying because we want to try. Can we? I don't even want to admit that the odds are like negligible. That the truth of the matter is that this is a selfish request to hold us all together, but that it's not entirely selfish because we genuinely want to find her. I don't know, but there's a possibility. I want to bet on it. What would happen if we discovered Inoue ourselves?
手柄ということにはなるでしょうね。というか、そうするしかないんじゃなくて、学校。
What about the RS then? Would that mean we could continue as we are? Akane sighs.
可能。
What do you think, everyone? They're giving up the search tomorrow evening, so it probably means we'd only be coming home at night even in the best case. I face everyone.
私は小太郎を手伝う。
Aww.
夜に森に入って二重遭難になったらどうする？
I'll make a plan so that doesn't happen. I feel like I can do it. Make sure to bring stuff to spend the night camping outside.
小太郎くん、ここは女の子ばっかりなんだよ。
If worst comes to worst, I'll do the actual searching on my own. But will you cooperate with me on other fronts?
止めても無駄なのでしょうね。
He's like a tidal wave. Why? I'm left clicking and it does activates the right click. Sorry about that. It doesn't do that in any other game, by the way. It's just this one.
小太郎が行くと言うなら、私も行く。
You're the best.
私も構わない。親もうるさくないしな。
Really?
私も大丈夫だと思います。
Thank you, Chihaya.
私も手伝えるけど。
Thanks. Now that it's decided, there's a whole lot of stuff to take care of. Equipment, plans, information. I'll have to distribute those tasks among the members. Success means the preservation of the RS itself. I can finally see some hope. I'll be able to rest easy again if we can just find Inoue.
天王寺、一つだけ理解しておかねばならないことがあるわ。
Yes. I ready myself for anything.
井上という女性との遺体を見つけるという可能性。
Yeah. Like I said, first 48 hours are the most important. Every day after, it really starts becoming a search for a corpse.
分かって。
I'll prepare myself for that. I thought I already had, but the thought still slams my heart like a speeding truck. I'm still underestimating the gravity of the situation at the fundamental level. I can't let myself forget the cruelty of the world. Hope exists in tandem with brutal reality. It's one or the other. Following a faint hope inevitably leads you to one or two outcomes. Will it be hope or cruel reality we face at the end of our path? It should all become clear tomorrow. Oh boy. Well, things are starting to kicking up a notch, huh? Oh, that's just depressing. Why? Wait, no. I thought that was gonna be Inoue, but Inoue. Ugh, whatever. We gather in the club room early in the morning, skipping our classes. Every second counts right now. Class rep wasn't too thrilled about skipping school, but she ended up agreeing that circumstances were grave enough to warrant it. Here's the plan. I open the files and I set to Akane's desktop as her large monitor. It's a map of the forest adjacent to our town. I'll begin then. Our main objective is to find the missing person by the name of Inoue. You can say I was partially to blame for her decision to investigate this area. As such, there's not an officially sanctioned activity of our club, but I'd appreciate everyone's help nonetheless. Everyone remains silent. I'm feeling oddly calm for some reason. Almost as though I'm already used to things like this. We'll be checking the areas for the search party most likely missed. Having been to the forest already, we might know routes that others don't. As such, I relied on that information to chart our course. A red line appears on the map. I had tried to come up with the safest route possible that coincided with my predictions of where Inoue would have gone. There's no danger of rain according to the forecast. We will avoid straying from the path and wandering into valleys or areas of higher elevation. Our path isn't limited to just existing trails, but we can all understand the map nonetheless. I also come up with multiple emergency escape routes. It shouldn't be dangerous as long as we stick to our original route. And if worse comes to worse, I can handle it.
冷静に考えると、かなり大それたことだよね、これ。
I mean, maybe, but again, like, search and rescues, when they do call off an official search where the government is no longer sponsoring like emergency personnel, volunteer civilians often still continue the search. They learn the tactics from the rescue squads, and they just kind of do their best. It's not perfect, but usually it's friends and family and caring members of the community. And it's kind of amazing how much effort can be put into it, even from people who don't know the individual, who just want to try and help in a situation where they can feel that compassion. It's not as far-fetched as you might think.
素人集団で森を捜索か。確かに。
Yeah. But Inoue went into the forest all on her own, and I predict she went pretty deep as well.
ちょっと無謀でしたね。
過信と焦りがあったのでしょうね。
Shizuru looks worried.
5日だし、冬山というわけでもないなら、命をつなぐことは可能だろうな。
Here's the thing, though. The reality is, too, like I said, remember like when I talked about kidnapping and how they starve you to make you weaker? After 5 days of being lost, if she's still alive, she's not going to be in a condition to take herself out of the forest. That will be a problem. But with the inhuman strength we have in some of our party members, it's really not as dire as it would be if it was like me and a group of friends doing this. If we did find her, like, we would have to take turns like carrying her. Like, she would likely not be able to do any type of like extraneous physical, like she might be able to stand, she might be able to walk like a straight line, but it would be really rough.
滑落したり、水に濡れたり、獣にやられていなければ。
But her fate will be sealed the moment they cancel the search. I look at everyone. I'm not going to force anyone to participate this time. You are free to pass if you don't think you can handle it. I wait for a few moments, but no one voices any intent to drop out. Can I assume everyone's fine with this?
会長さん、もし井上さん見つけたら、部活は続けられるの？
そうね。それは手柄になるから。
なら一石二鳥だな。人助けができて、会も存続。
You're actually cheering for that?
お手伝いします。
I'm a bit worried about how carefree they sound. It's not a game this time. We're taking over the work the adults have given up on without anyone's permission to boot. Regardless, I don't feel anxious about it for some reason. It's like I'm being protected by some invisible force. I feel safe with all of us together. That might merely be my conceit talking, but thanks. And I'd also like your help with something, Prez.
どのような？
Could you prepare us a helicopter? Akane raises her hands.
できないこともなかった。
Past tense?
そう。過去形。クーポン券がなくなってしまったのよ。
Really? Huh?
私の権力もまだ完璧なものではないの。実は、もみ消し回数は限定されていたのよ。
Crap, and she's already used that. Akane removes a bundle of coupons from her breast pocket. What's that?
毎年1冊。これが当局から渡される取り決めなの。
They're like unofficially, officially sanctioned.
1枚で1件のもみ消しができる。クーポンのランクによってもみ消せる事件の規模も変わってくるというシステムね。スペシャルクーポンなら学校の一部を破壊してももみ消しが可能。だけどこれは数が少ない。
I would hope not.
ベーシッククーポンは数が多い代わりに教師一人に軽度の口封じを強要する程度のことしかできない。
That's very systematic for criminal business. So you're saying you're out of the special ones.
あなた方と関わってから急激に使用頻度が高まったわ。そういうわけで実のところもう大した権力はないのよ。ことによってはかばいきれなくなることもある。よく覚えておきなさいね。
If I were Tennouji, at this point I would think about it, and I'd be like, I'll accept that. If I get myself in trouble, I'll dig myself out of it.
もし今事件を起こしたら
厳重処分が下るわね。
Kotarou. I called him Tennouji a second ago. Where did that name come from? I'm losing my marbles. Kotarou. Tennouji. Who's Tennouji? Tennouji. Why did I even come up with that name? I have no idea what's going on. Okay. We have no choice but to put our safety on the line in more ways than one this time. In a way, that's kind of good, though. It's real. After that, we split into groups to prepare the equipment that we'll be bringing with us. The earlier we get to the forest, the better. If at all possible, I hope we can finish the task before nightfall. As such, we can only cover a few hours distance in a single direction. There isn't much we can do. I wonder if I'm just fooling myself. I feel guilty about Inoue, and I'm doing this to repent. But if that's all, I have no business dragging everyone else with me, yet. If worse comes to worse, I've got my trump card. I can take more risks than normal with that up my sleeve. It's helped me before, and it can help me now. I guess that's all for me. I also made up a list of necessities to make sure to stock up on before we set out.
リストにないものは持って行っちゃダメなの？
Within limits. You can take anything as long as you think you'll need it. We'll split up now and meet up again at 10 a.m. in front of the entrance of the forest. In short, right outside here, okay? Everyone nods. Quest search for Inoue has started. Boom. I think we're gonna go ahead and end here. Again, it's a little bit on the shorter side, but like that's a good place for us to end, really. It's just perfect. So interesting. Remember I talked about how like the game was kind of being carefree and very like fuddy-duddy with the plot? I think it's just fun. It's like I think we've hit the drop point where it's just like, all right, silliness is over. Let's go. And maybe from here on out, things will start getting real serious. I could see that. And I also had the question too, like, I thought the silhouette in that loading screen was Inoue's silhouette being like absent. But I don't think she looked like that. I think she had longer hair, and that didn't seem like a uniform. It looked like a dress. Of course, it could be her casual outfit or whatever. I mean, Akane wears a dress hiking, so who knows? But I wonder if it's an unknown character, like somebody we haven't met yet. It'd be really weird to introduce a new character at this point. Well, I mean, maybe not too weird, but kind of weird, right? I don't know. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Yeah. Very thought-provoking episode. Very sad episode. Not very whole lot to do. Like, again, it's all about prepping and getting ready for this next adventure. This big adventure, November 13th. We're gonna see. I think things are gonna change on this trip. I don't know what. I don't know if we're gonna find her or we're gonna find something else, but... Because that's the thing, is like, did she just get lost or did she stumble on something? Because if she stumbled on something, we may just stumble right into it as well. And the sad thing is that if this is a cover-up of some kind, and Inoue's vanishing might be perpetuated if the officials are purposely avoiding the area where she actually went missing, then they might never find her because they just never actually look in the spot where she is. So in that regard, if the city is actively hiding the secret, then maybe we do have a more of a chance because we stumbled upon the source of the mystery that she was investigating, and we know how to get there. And the rescue parties, either the innocent don't know, or those who are in the know were able to skirt and keep people away from it. So yeah. Now that I think about it, actually, it's probably really good that we're heading out because we might have that little bit of extra information if we're going to make it through a conspiracy. If there's a conspiracy going on, we need to be there. So perhaps that's what it actually is. Maybe there is something really going on the surface level. I mean, if Akane can get coupons that can let like incidents be glossed over by like the government, like the local government, politicians and teachers and everything, that just screams there's just a corruption to the core of the system there. Like, she's a high school student, and yeah, she's got power and authority, and she's pulled strings and, you know, made threats and knows information, but at the same time, the fact that they have a system in place where she can just give a coupon and get stuff washed away, it's a way to kind of keep her reined so that they can keep her from being too ridiculous by kind of giving her allowances. But the fact that they're doing that means that there's a lot of potential allowances they could be perpetuating. So, all right. I'm now convinced that there's a conspiracy and that the search parties were specifically told to search everywhere but where she probably is because they can't afford her to be found because of what she found. And maybe we're going to find her. But if we do, that puts all of our heads on the chopping block. One student going missing is a tragedy. A follow-up group of like another 6 going missing, that's gonna be a bit harder to shake out. So yeah, things that get real spicy. I'm excited. Looking forward to next week. I hope you are too. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your support. I'm not gonna talk about it a ton, but I did post my video about my health stuff going on, and I've had enormous amounts of support for that. Like, it blew me out of the water just how much support traction that's been getting. I think it's because it's been trending with other things like involving like COVID and stuff. So I imagine it's being picked up by people who normally would never see my content at all. And that's fine, but it's otherwise, like, thank you for the support and care you showed me and that others have showed me. I appreciate it. And I'm going to keep making content as long as I can. So let's keep it up. Anyway, let's look forward to next week. Let's look forward to the other content we got coming this week. You know, we got Yakuza, we got Trails in the Sky, Legend of Heroes. We got Cooking Companions on Fridays, which is going to be really fun. And then on Mondays, we're still doing Muv-Love. We're just chugging down the Muv-Love train. It just never seems to stop. So I'm excited about all that. So, thank you so much. Until next video, watch me. I'll see me next. I'll see you there.